This is Catching Up with ED. Your Excellency, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Zimbabwe.
As you know, Your Excellency, this discussion is listener-led, and a lot of what we'll be discussing today comes from contributions that they've made. You've always said that for Zimbabwe to achieve Vision 2030, radical economic reforms are required. Danny Zembe, he's on Twitter, sent a message saying, when you reflect on your tenure so far, do you think you've made life for the ordinary man on the street better or worse? And if yes, in what ways?
Well, the journey is not short. It's a long journey. The lives of our people, which we want to make better, must be achieved after going through several aspects of reforming our economy, reforming the way we do business. And in that process, a lot of suffering will come. But what we achieve is what we are looking forward as a goal. So far, we have identified what we need to do in the many areas of our economy. We have a policy in agriculture, a policy in mining, a policy infrastructure development, in tourism, in manufacturing. In all these subsectors, we have changed the approach to make sure these subsectors of the economy should serve our purpose to achieve the goal where every Zimbabwean will be proud to be a Zimbabwean across the country.
A big issue that people are concerned with is around prices. A couple of our listeners sent us messages. Susan Tauzeni, anogara kuchitungwiza. She says, President, my basic commodities are kukwira zuva nezuva. Hamungagonewo here kugazeta mamwe ma prices nekuti vamwe vakutichaja nema US dollars. Hatizi tese tinotambira nema US. Priscilla ari ku Norton anoti, hamuna zvamunokwanisa here kuitawo panyaya yema price. Zvinhu zviri kukwira zuva nezuva. So the thrust there is basically around cushioning people to ensure consistency around prices of basic commodities.
Kana tichiti su rwendo rwatiri kufamba rwakaoma ndo kumwe kuoma kwatiri tichitaura ikoko. These are the challenges we have to surmount. We cannot reach where we want to go without resurrecting the economy that had collapsed. Our economy had collapsed. The situation in this country was a result of various issues that attended our country, major of which is sanctions, which collapsed not only our economy, it also collapsed our currency. Saka hama yangu, kuti tisvike kwatinofana kusvika kuti mangwana tifare, tinosungirwa kusunga mabhandi kana rukusha sunga rukusha gusimbe tinde kwatiri kuinda uko. Hongu tina vanhu pakati pedu zvokuti nhasi unoyu akabureya huku yake zure yakabata pamusha ndokuisa mushopu make yovatomo mangwana efuma yava neimwe price ikazotengwa ikavata efuma chii chaitika chaita kuti awedzere mutengo? Hapana. Vanhu vedu vamwe vasingahwisisi kuti ngatibatanei tiite chinhu chimwe chete chokusumudzira nyika yedu, tisumudzire ufumi hwedu, tisumudze ugare hwedu sevanhu. Hongu noti vazhinji vedu vose vanohwisisa, asi kune vazhinji vanoti ivo kana zvatodai totozviwanira pano tokuvadza vanhu. Nokuti unowana kuti ndandichikudziwa nhasi kuti munhu anopinda muchitoro nguva dza8 o'clock dzokuseni owana bhodhoro recooking oil kana ndira yamazoe zvanzi rinenge richiita $2 kana $3. Asi ukaya masikati raapa 5 ukaya manheru raapa 7 chaitika chii? Hapana. Asi pamusoro pazvo munhu iye ari kutengesa neshopi iye achikwidza mutengo uyo anokwidza here mari anobhadhara vanosevenza? Haakwidzi. Kune vamwezve vanenge vari mumashopu akadaro vandinonzwa vanenge voti ichi chotengwa ne US dollar, ichi chotengwa ne rand, ichi chotengwa nechii. asi haana kana munhu umwe chete pavashandi vake vanobhadhara nemadhora kana nerandi kana neimwe mari anobhadharwa neRTG. Saka zvose izvozvo izvo tinoda kutaura kuvanhu vedu vanonzvinya business kuti zvakashata. Ichasvika nguva yekuti vanhu vakadero tivawinyanise muupenyu hwebusiness hwavo, vawinyane. Asi chatosuvira ndechokuti for economy kuti ikure, we must not prescribe prices kuti warima orange rako iri richada $2 zvitoenda mutemo muparamendi kuti orange ichada $2 kana kuti kapi iri panapa ichata mari yakati aizvo hatizviti. The forces of the market forces must determine the price. There must be competition. We need more and more people in our commerce and industry so that there's competition. But to do so again, as a result of the past history of 20 years or so, michina yedu ndeyakare, it's almost obsolete. So we need to retool our industry, our manufacturing sector, so that it will become competitive, so that we can also enter the global market for us to sell our products and earn revenue for the purposes of uplifting the lives of our people.
Tiri ipapo pane pamambotaura nyaya yokuti kana tichida kuti nyika yedu ienderere mberi tinofanira kumbopinda pane nguva yekurwadzikana. Pane anonzi TM anyora paTwitter achiti, does austerity apply to even those higher up? If yes, are you also feeling the pinch?
Chokutanga chatakatanga kuita musi watangoti takuita zvatoti austerity measures muchirungu kana kuti kuoma kwezvinhu kuti zvinhu zvinake, takatanga kudimbura masalari vanhu vari muhurumende, maministers vose pamwe chete nesu vakuru vacho takadimburirwa masalari zedu. Ndochokutanga chakadini chakaitika. Asi chiripo ndechokuti chaunodla ndo chandodlawo. Tozongosiyana kuti ini ndofamba nemota yehurumende, handingaregi mota yehurumende kuti ndifanane kuti awa sezvo umwe akwira bhazi kana akwira kombi chiregavo ndinde kukombi nebasa aiwa zvinzako ndinoramba ndichifambisa mota yangu yapresident. Haungazotsamu kuti president vafamba nemota yavo yavakatengerwa ivo president, iyo ndofamba nayo. Asi chandinodla ndinochitenga, zvandinopfeka ndotenga maunodini maunotengavo, zvose zvimwe zvitete kafanana. Asi shoko guru riripo nderokuti tinoziva savakuru kuti varipo vamwe vanga vari tikati palevel palevel yokuti aiwa tinofanira kutarira kuti tavadini tavabatsira kurarama. Nokuti hatitarire nyaya senyaya yokuenda kubasa macommuters. Macommuter buses aya takanzwa kuti kuita angachita $1 kuinda nokudzoka, $1 kuinda $1 kudzoka. Gare gare tanzwa kuti $2 kuinda $2 kudzoka. Gare gare achingokwira tikati aiwa atibatsirei hama dzedu. Munhu anga achibhadhara sometimes $3 oya kutawana $3 odzokera. Saka yosvika $6 in one day. So we agreed as a leadership to bring new buses. Mashoma auya asari kuuya on a weekly basis. Kana ati one day toririsa svondo munoti ticharelisa mamwe nokuti ari kuuya ari mashomane totanga taavunganidza toririsa mutaundi nokumareserva tichaendesa mabhazi akawanda kumareserva ikoko kuti vanhu vadei vabatsirike, toisa mutengo uri pasi. Saka iwe kana uchida kukwira bhazi remutengo uri pasi unoriwana. Kana wadako zvokushamisira kuti kushamisa kuboko zvatingakurambidza inyika yakasungunuka, vanoshamisira vanobvumiswa, asi vanenge vachida kufamba nemabhazi akanaka 50 cents waenda kubasa, 50 cents wadini wadzokera kumba. Chechipiri kune chinkwa, kune nyaya yechinkwa, kune nyaya yebupfu, cooking oil, zvinhu zvakadero zviri basic mumba momunhu zvanga zvichikwira. Takambogara pasi nevanoita mabusiness erudzi iroro tikati aiwa musaita izvi, vakamboteerera vakadzorera pasi, aizowa kukwira zvakare. Saka chatakuita zvinezvi kuchirongwa chatinacho ndechokuti mabasic issues ari basic munhu umwe neumwe anoda mhuri irarame. Zvizhinji tagadzira urongwa hwokuti tine GMB yedu. GMB ina ma points throughout the country. ndio matichasa distribution yedu imomo yokuti mtengo yana cooking oil yana flour yana upfu to subsidize ndofunga makanzwa kune vangaitara kuti mushaba ngadai asingazivawo tine inonzi STP yedu Stabilization program yedu TSP yedu Transitional Stabilization program yedu yaita consolidation efiscus kana kuti yagadzirisa kuti zvangaitika kare kuti ministry pamwedzi umwe neumwe inoshandisa mari kupfuura yayakarongerwa kuti ipiwe zozova nekuti hava nedeficit mufiscus medu but fiscal consolidation yedu yakaitwa implement nehurumende yedu manje tatanga kuwana masurplus nanga ndiri hurumende nemakore ose aya hapana patakamboita surplus asi kuzotatanga kuita surplus iri kukura now ndo mari yesurplus iya it is in millions katichitaura in terms of US dollars we get surplus perhaps in a month in above 150 million or so but the RTG inenge iri 400-500 million yatinowana surplus above expenditure on a monthly basis saka iyo ndiyo yatoshandisa manje to what we call in English safety nets for those who are disadvantaged at the lower level ndiyo yatoshandisa kuita cushion ikokoko kuti vanhu zvivanyorevere iko zvozvo tikungotanga as we go on people will appreciate what we are doing as a result of the programs and reforms we are doing. We can never progress, never have a better life without reforming our economy, without reforming the way we are doing business, without adapting to modern practices worldwide. That we must do. Whatever painful, but we must achieve that, and we must continue to do it.
A big issue that concerns people, Mr. President, is the issue of fuel. It has gone up 3 times in the last 6 months, with the latest increase this week. What would you say is being done to ensure price stability as well as consistent supply?
In terms of figures of the RTG, you can see it is going out, is going up. But in terms of the US dollar, which many people think about, our fuel is the cheapest. Currently, if you look at the price of fuel, that is if the bank market rate, what they call the black market,
interbank rate.
No, there's the
parallel market one.
There's what they call the parallel market, and then the interbank market. Now, the other one is almost at 8, right, to the dollar, which means that in dollar terms, a liter will cost you around 60 cents. At interbank rate of the dollar, it will to cost you about 90 cents a liter. But where in the region do you get a liter at 90 cents or 60 cents per liter? Nowhere. Now it's just because people have to adjust from the mentality of $1 to the mindset where the $1 translates to 5 RTG or 6 RTG. So it is still, that's how it works. Yet, if I can tell you, in South Africa, the rand which many people cry for is 14 rands to $1 US. The pool, I'm not so sure what it is, but I think it is also around 9 or 10, I don't know what it is. The kwacha is the same. In this region, in SADC, the RTG, our RTG current currency, is the strongest currency in the region, and it makes our exports expensive. So we have a too strong currency, but some people think it is too weak because it's going to 5. No, it is actually the strongest currency in the region we have, if you compare it with the US dollar. So it is, however, necessary that we walk that journey. And our mindset is going to adjust as we move on. But as we move on, it is necessary that we carry everybody. And to carry everybody, we must continue to explain to our people as to what all this means. That if we don't do this, what would happen? I don't think there is any single Zimbabwean in this country who would want to continue to have a collapsed currency, would continue to want to have a collapsed economy. But to rise from those ashes of a collapsed economy, certain things must be sacrificed for us again to be on our feet.
Your Excellency, the issue of currency, which you have just been talking about, has also been a challenge in the country. And you talked about it last week to say that we are going to be having a new currency in the country. Did you mean a completely new currency, or it's still the RTGS dollar?
What every country must have is a new currency. The first thing you must understand is that, yes, we created a basket of currencies. The dollar, the rand, the pula, the pound, the euro, and so on and so on. That's a basket of currencies. But each single currency belongs to a country. And each country names its currency. You understand?
Right.
So Zimbabwe must reach a stage where it has its own currency, which is called Zimbabwe currency. When the US dollar or the RTG were introduced, when they were not introduced, and government announced that we are introducing a new currency for Zimbabwe, these were measures to deal with the economic situation at the time. We have to move on step one, step two, which I cannot say now, because those are things will be announced when at the appropriate time. We have step one, step two, up to step 6. When we reach step 6, then we announce what we want for this country, which is the currency for this country. Whether it will be the same RTG or it will be, what's that thing called? Bonds.
Yeah.
It is at that time that you know what we are going to achieve. I will not announce now. No, it must be announced at the appropriate time when implementation is ready. At that stage, all the fundamentals which are necessary will be in place so that no one will be playing around with that currency, because then it will be only one currency which will be used in the country. If you have your own dollars in your socks or dollars in your pillow, you will not be able to go and buy bread, you will not be able to go and buy your tie, you will not be able to come and buy this mug with your US dollar, because we will have only designated that currency as the legal tender for this country. And any other currency, you bring it here, you go to the bank or to the, what do you call this, bill of the change, and change it into Zimbabwe currency, which will then be used for transactions in the country. So we'll be at par with the rest of proud countries or members of the international community.
A question is coming through our WhatsApp platform, and he asks, can we really expect the new currency to work when we don't have production of exports?
Now, what are the fundamentals which must be there? That is one of the things. It's important that this question is being asked. We cannot just introduce currency when we have not yet created an economic environment where it can be sustained. And to do so, production must be there. Corruption must be eliminated. The mindset of our people must believe in themselves as a people. So when all those things are in place, that's when we do it. That's when we introduce the currency. So there will be no need of other people saying, oh, well, look, I think I'm better with a rand. I think I'm better with a pula. No. As long as you are in Zimbabwe, you'll be better with your own Zimbabwe currency in the country, not of other countries.
Another question that is coming through, Your Excellency, is to say, in the meantime, since the US dollar is being a challenge, why don't we join the Rand Monetary Fund?
I should educate you, and one who asked, just let me give them a bit of education. In 2008, 2008, yes, in December, the former administration, which I was in myself, created a committee of 5 people, and I was one of the 5, to say our currency had collapsed in 2008. So in December we sat down, because if to go and buy a loaf of bread, you needed 2 billion Zimbabwe dollars. So everybody was a billionaire. I think some had become zillionaires at that time. So we decided, no, we must do something about it. And then we said, let us approach South Africa. so that we adopt the rand as our domestic currency in Zimbabwe. But when we approached the Reserve Bank of South Africa, they gave us a checklist for us to comply with certain conditions for us to use their dollar. It would mean that what is our GDP? How big is our economy? So we would then need to agree with them to print or to give us that quantity of money commensurate with our own GDP and our own economy in Zimbabwe. But some of those conditions we were able to achieve that were not acceptable. The same with other countries when we approached them. But we then decided, first to our lawyers, we decided that there was no need in terms of the law to actually have those agreements. Or what is necessary is us in Zimbabwe create a legal framework to make those currencies, a particular currency which we put in a basket, legal tender in Zimbabwe. So there were no conditions. So the dollar and the rand is legal tender in Zimbabwe. The US dollar is legal tender. The pound is legal tender. The pula is legal tender. What is it called?
The euro.
The euro is legal, and so on and so. The legal tender they can operate. So up to now, you can't. If you want to have to use the rand every day, you can go to Messina with your US dollars and go and buy as many rands you want, and use your rand as much as you like. No one will stop you. If you want to pay your workers in rands, go and collect your rands and pay them in rand. The law is there, so there's no need at all to talk about let us do this, let us do that. You see, but if you want to designate South African rand as a Zimbabwe rand, there are conditions that must be followed at law.
And I think on that point, we can take a short break. When we return, we'll be going through more of your questions and contributions. Remember that this discussion is listener-led. Keep sending those contributions through on 0717 777 as well as on our social media platforms. That's at CapiTalk FM. This is CapiTalk 100.4 FM, leading the conversation.
The Grain Millers Association of Zimbabwe will be conducting a price monitoring program nationwide on maize meal, rice, salt, sugar beans and flour-related products in all the wholesale and retail shops throughout the country. This self-regulation initiative by the industry is meant to eradicate unwarranted price increases on the said basic commodities by some unscrupulous business dealers, and it is in the interest of the general public. Our teams will be on the ground in all towns, cities, growth points and all other shopping centres. They will be identified by wearing branded bibs and carrying positive identification as they visit every shop to ensure compliance. Everyone's cooperation is important to make this program a success. We therefore humbly appeal to all wholesalers, retailers, grocery shop owners and the general public to cooperate with these personnel when they visit your entities. GMAZ, we are there to ensure national food security.
Excellence in marketing. We value our clients, stakeholders. We value teamwork. Shandira Kamwe. We work with integrity. We are committed to accountability. Excellence in marketing. Tobacco Industry Marketing Board, icon of excellence in the marketing and production of Zimbabwe flavor tobacco.
You're tuned in to Harare's Talk Companion, CapiTalk 100.4 FM.
Welcome back to Catching Up with ED on CapiTalk 100.4 FM, the voice of Harare leading the conversation. Thank you to all of you who've joined us so far and for all of your contributions on 0717 777 as well as on our social media platforms. Just to remind you, this discussion is live on CapiTalk 100.4 FM, but we are also live on Diamond FM, Star FM and Nyami Nyami FM. You can also catch this discussion live on Facebook, that's the Zim Papers TV network, as well as at CapiTalk FM.
Your Excellency, moving on, there's the issue of the national dialogue, and on May 17 this year, while launching the political actors dialogue, Pollard, you said it would leave a legacy on the country's political scene and help turn around the country's economy. And I understand that earlier today you had such a meeting. Can you evaluate the performance so far?
Well, you need to appreciate the philosophy behind the dialogue. We have been a nation polarized in the political sphere or space. When I became president in November 2017, I said I plead to the people of Zimbabwe to be united, that I will be listening president, that I will want every single Zimbabwean to come forward and contribute one's ideas so that together we move forward and grow, modernize our country. No one should be left behind. That was first. Second point, we are now going for general elections. In the past, Zimbabwe is known for violent elections. I pleaded with all political leaders and political parties then and said, let us, for this round, this time around, have peaceful campaign. And I'm happy all political parties during that period campaigned peacefully until we had our voting on the 30th of July last year.
Yeah.
Then, of course, there was violence 2 days after elections.
Yeah.
And then immediately then said, although ZANU-PF has won, I would want to give respect to the party which is the biggest majority in parliament and move away from the general Commonwealth parliamentary democratic practice and give certain dignity to whoever has the biggest number of members in parliament in the opposition. That was spanned. Then I said, okay, let us create a platform where all of us put the elections behind us, but let us come together, the winner and the loser. And now not talk about the elections. If we talk about the elections, we talk about the reforms that may be necessary for future elections. But let us talk about the journey from one election to another in terms of growing and modernizing and making the lives of our people better. And as it were, we had 55 political parties that participated in elections, and the 23 participated for the office of the president. So out of the 23, 18 political parties came forward, with the ZANU-PF coming in as the 19th. Those are the ones who signed. But initially, there is 22 responded, but only 19 actually then signed to come in. And this is what we are doing. On the 17th of May last month, we made a launch of that platform. We have 4 committees of that dialogue. Today we will spend 3 or 4 hours discussing issues of how to deal with challenges facing this country across the board. It is not ZANU-PF policy or that party's policy. It is what the policies are good for Zimbabwe, not what the policies are good for this political party. No, it's what the policies are good for Zimbabwe. And the majority of the 23 political parties are on board, and we are moving on. 2 or so had pulled out, but during last week, one of the parties which pulled out has since approached me to say, no, we want to come back. We see value in the platform, the dialogue platform. So we are moving forward. And I'm so happy that like today we discussed the issues of price hikes, what we must do about it, the issues of corruption, what we must do about it. Others even, I enjoyed another one who said, Mr. President, you are too democratic. Can you limit your democracy? Be firing some of the ministers. Well, although I don't think the ministers enjoyed that one. But as it were, it is important because it shows free speech. People exercising their views. And one colleague, one leader of a political party said, I think it is necessary that we change the age of presidents. We must make sure presidents must go beyond 80. I said, no, I disagree with you. That one, I disagree. Then I said to him, after me, I would wish that this country finds a president who's young. We mustn't repeat having people of my age. I think we need younger people to lead this country. But what I'm saying this is, you can see the freedom, of people expressing themselves freely. This is what we want. And well, persuading me to be autocratic and to be a dictator, no, I did not agree. Persons should be dealt with on merit. You must be just and fair in dealing with people. If you don't punish a person because he's too tall or is too fat, no. It must be on the basis of one breaching laws, regulations, and or ethics of work. Then we can act.
Okay, granted, Your Excellency, the answer. A listener at Haruz Zivi Sheje, he agrees that our nation is affected by polarization, but his question is, how will we achieve Vision 2030 if we can't come together as political parties? And his next question is, what is he thinks our problem is more political. So what is stopping you, President, to have talks with Nelson Chamisa? He actually puts that out.
Look, I would not get, a tractor or a bulldozer to go and pull him out of his house to talks. I have published that let all political parties in Zimbabwe, let us come together. Is he not a leader of a political party in Zimbabwe? I think he is. Why doesn't he come to the table where everybody is? Why should he feel proud that all the other 19 political parties are not important, only his? That I don't. In my view, is every single person, whether leader of political party or individual, is important. A bishop of a church to me is important. A chairman of burial society is important to me. So, all those who would want to come and proffer their views, their advice on any issue, the table is open. Let us meet. As we go forward, we shall have a platform for the religious groups. We shall have a platform for the youths. We shall have a platform for the women. And they have to profile their views on a common platform for everybody.
Okay.
There should be no sacred cow who think they or she or he are not the same as others. We are all the same. We are all Zimbabweans. Let us come and discuss together.
Granted, Your Excellency. Thank you.
Your Excellency, let's move to the agricultural sector. How far have we gone with the land audit? And can you kindly share some of the findings so far?
Well, the land audit is on. The final report is not out. What I have so far been briefed, you see, you young person, you want me to reveal what is not ready for the nation. Now that you're asking me, you're cornering me, but I'll answer you.
That is why you are here.
I'll answer you. The interim report I have is that I think about 8 provinces have been done. There are left some 2 or so provinces that have not been completed. But the majority of inconsistencies relate to multiple ownership of farms. We have some farm owners, especially people of higher rank in society, having more than 1 farm, some as many as 9. I know of a particular lady, Stop It, who has over 16 farms. And the law says 1 family, 1 farm. So once the audit is over, we should be able to implement that policy. We have people who have a farm and register a farm in a child who is about 2 years old and give him a farm of 800 hectares. But you go and trace who this person is. It's a child who is about 2 years old. So all those things are being unearthed through this audit which is going on. So when the audit is out, we'll make it public so that everybody knows. And in my view, I should also be able to make it public as to who was doing what. Because this land does not belong to one person, it belongs to us all. So we must know who are misusing the privilege of the offices. That must be published.
Right, Your Excellency, our farmers are struggling to get loans and financing for their farms, and banks are seemingly rejecting the 99-year leases. How else can we make our land bankable so that our farmers can be able to fund their operations?
It's historical. The mindset of the banks has not yet changed from colonial perspectives. They are still buried in the former tenure system, freehold. They cannot move away from freehold title to where a person is given a 99-year lease. Very few people who live beyond 99 years. Very few. Right? So a 99-year lease, to me, is sufficient title to give the owner of such title to access finance. There were issues which the banks raised in relation to the structure as well as the format of the 99 lease, which we changed to conform with what they wanted, and we've done that. So as far as the legal aspect is concerned about 99 lease, it is safe for banks to use to provide security, to provide loans on the basis of the security of a 99-year lease. Secondly, not all land requires 99-year lease. Only agricultural land, which has become state land, that is the land which requires a 99-year lease. Urban land, you still have title to urban land. Freehold, there's still freehold. British concept of freehold, it is still applicable to urban land. Then, of course, of communal land. So it is only in relation to agricultural land where we need a 99-year lease. And in my view, it is adequate because we have interrogated the fear of the financial service sector as to why is it not acceptable. And they made their contribution, and we've taken those on board. So I don't see any reason anymore.
Thank you, Your Excellency. This discussion is listener-driven. Crispin Machingauta says, I'm deeply concerned about the treatment I got from the Minister of Agriculture. I have a proposal which will help this country to achieve the Vision 2030 through the agricultural sector. So, Mr. President, how can you help me?
I would like to say to Machingauta, Zimbabwe is not a population of angels. And I don't know of any country where the whole population is of angels. I think angels are in heaven. So it is possible that he was mistreated or mishandled by somebody, by some officer in the Ministry of Agriculture. I don't deny that. It is quite possible. But if he can appeal to higher authority, he will be listened to. But as long as what he needs is something that can be accommodated, it is possible that what he needs is not possible to accommodate it under the current environment of our land reform. So it is important that we know precisely what he wants so that we can tell him what window would assist that want.
I think that's a good place for us to take another break. When we return, we'll be continuing with your messages on the different platforms. We encourage you to continue sending them through 0717 777 at CapiTalk FM and all of our social media platforms. This is a platform for you to engage with the President. This is Catching Up with ED on CapiTalk 100.4 FM, leading the conversation.
Excellence in marketing. We value our clients, stakeholders. We value teamwork. Shandira Kamwe. We work with integrity. We are committed to accountability. Excellence in marketing. Tobacco Industry Marketing Board, icon of excellence in the marketing and production of Zimbabwe flavor tobacco.
I-Grain Millers Association of Zimbabwe iqhuba uhlelo lokuhlola intengo yempuphu, i-rice, isawudo, i-sugar beans kanye le-flour lezinye izinto ezitolo elizweni lonke jikelele. Lokhu kuhlose ukuthi kungabi lokukhutshukiswa kwentengo yalezi zinto mahlayana nje, kanti futhi kulondolozwe uzulu. Amaqembu enhloli zethu azabe semadolobheni lendawo zonke zamavinkili engena ezitolo ukuhlola intengo yalezi zinto. Lezi nhloli lizazibona ngokugqoka amapipa abhalwe ukuthi Jimazi Price Monitor, kanti futhi bazabe belengwadlana ezitshengisa ukuthi ngobani lapho bengena ezitolo. Kuqakathekile ukuthi sibambe ndawonye ukuze lolu hlelo luphumelele. Ngakho siyazithoba, sicela abezitolo ukuthi basebenze ndawonye lenhloli zethu. Jimazi, sikhona ukuthi kube lokudla okwaneleyo.
Excellence in marketing. We value our clients, stakeholders. We value teamwork. Shandira Kamwe. We work with integrity. We are committed to accountability. Excellence in marketing.
Tobacco Industry Marketing Board, icon of excellence in the marketing and production of Zimbabwe flavor tobacco.
Sangano reGrain Millers Association of Zimbabwe riri kuita chirongwa chekuongorora mitengo yehupfu, mupunga, munyu, sugar beans neflour muzvitoro zvese munyika. Chirongwa ichi chiri kutarisirwa kupedza dambudziko rekukwidzwa zvinamaturo kwemitengo yezvinhu izvi nevezvitoro. Mapoka edu ashanga ari mumaguta, kumadhorobha nekumagrowth points vachiongorora mitengo iyi. Vanenge vakapfeka mabhibhi akanyorwa kuti GMAZ Price Monitor pamwe nezvitupa zvinoratidza kuti ndivanani panguva yavanenge vachipinda muzvitoro. Tinokumbirisa veruzhinji vezvitoro nevashandi vemuzvitoro kuti mushande zvakanaka nemapoka aya paanenge achiongorora mitengo iyi kuitira kuti chirongwa ichi chibudirire. Grain Millers Association of Zimbabwe tiripo kuti pave nekudya kwakakwana.
Welcome back to Catching Up with ED. We are so grateful for the contributions that you've been sending on 0717 777 as well as on all of our social media platforms. Please continue to do so. We welcome our viewers and listeners in the diaspora. We know that many of your contributions are coming through, and we certainly hope over the course of the discussion we will be getting to them. Mr. President, let's talk about the team that you have around you, helping you to do the work that you must. How do you rate the performance of your ministers, and do you still think they all deserve to be in the positions that they're in?
That question is really personal to me, so that my answer, you want to know whether I'm subjective or objective, because it's something coming from myself as I see things. One, as a president, after elections, you have to create a cabinet, and you must create that cabinet from members of your party who have won elections, who are in parliament. That's the first thing. That's why you must get your people from, except 5. You can get 5 from outside parliament. Now, the second point is, the constitution bids me as president to make sure I get ministers from every province. And I have 20 ministers who head departments, and I must get two, because there are 10 provinces, to make the 20 the heads of ministries. So again, and yet you will find that each province and most of the provinces have a highly qualified persons, but I must only get 2. The third thing, I must also be conscious about gender. If I must get 2, but I know this province has 3 top brains, but I can't take them because I need gender balance. One must be a man, one must be a woman, possibly. If I can have women of cabinet quality, I have to do that. Third, then with the 5 positions given to me by the constitution, I have to see the skills that I have not got from those in parliament to come and blend with those I have got from Parliament. That's how I do it. But this is the initial selection you do without knowing in reality whether, because you can have a person with a PhD and they say, can you make chips? You won't be able to know how to make chips. So I have selected these people, convincing myself I am fitting them where they would do well. But as you go on, you can discover that the person is not as much as you expected. It is only in the process of work that you discover one is good and one is not good, one is average. Then in the future, you change. But if you wish, you may also change during the course of the 5-year term. You can change. I have the power to do so. So if the question is, am I happy with my team? If I say I'm not happy, they won't have sleep.
Maybe they shouldn't.
I'm happy with my team, but I need a lot of improvement from some of them.
Right. And I guess on that point, would you be open to dismissing those who are not performing in the way that you expect?
Absolutely. I have that power to dismiss and appoint others. That I have power to do so, and I would exercise that.
Let's talk a little bit about deputy ministers. This is an issue that has been raised on several platforms around the fact that we already have what's considered quite hefty a cabinet. We have representatives in different spheres. Deputy ministers, are they necessary?
Indeed they are. In the past we had, I think 38. There were 38 ministers, I can't remember the number. We've reduced that to 20 full ministers. They're now 20. But certain ministries are so huge, it is necessary to have deputies, like the Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Water, Climate, and Rural Settlement. It's so huge that even if I could put 4 deputies, but I only put 2. So it is necessary in some aspects so that you see supervision of these vast ministries is better maintained, because the minister can delegate in a cluster form and say, you are a deputy minister, I want you to look after this cluster, you look after this cluster, I as minister will look after this cluster. But at the end of the day, they all come together. So it is necessary to have deputies, in my view, to have deputies. And but still, I have very few deputies. I think we should have more. I don't know why people would fear that there should be deputies.
I guess the issue is around perhaps the fact that when the minister is not available, we often don't see a deputy minister acting in the capacity of the minister, that perhaps their role may be redundant because there are other people who are covering for the minister when the minister is away.
That's a wrong assumption, to the extent that when the main minister is away, the deputy ministers run the ministry. But in relation to sitting in cabinet, a person must be a cabinet minister to sit in cabinet. A deputy minister is not a cabinet minister. So it's only for purpose of sitting in the cabinet that if a minister is away, you have to appoint another minister to act for that ministry, or that minister who is away, who will be briefed by the deputy ministers to come and represent that ministry in cabinet, because the constitution provides for cabinet ministers to sit in cabinet. That's the difference.
Still on government officials, Your Excellency, we continue to see the same faces being appointed. Don't we have other qualified Zimbabweans to take up those positions?
In Parliament? Where?
In government officials, yeah, in parastatals as well.
You don't chase a person because you've seen him for 2 years. Then you say because you've been here for 5 years in working for government, you must go away. There are regulations that are there. You will join after your university, perhaps at 21, you join a university and you join a ministry. And the ministry, so a ministry says in civil service you must retire at the age of 55 or at the age of 60. There are provisions of that nature. But before you reach 65 and you are doing well, why should you be chased away? So you'll be seeing him and seeing him until you get tired of seeing him or seeing her, because that person has not reached the retirement age, or the person has reached retirement age, but because of special expertise acquired, you may still want to keep the person. And there's a provision which says in that instance the minister may determine to renew that person's contract on a yearly basis until that person goes away. So that's what happens. But obviously that does not guarantee a person to remain in government. If you don't do well, you get checked out. If you don't perform, you get checked out. If you commit a crime, you get checked out. It's like any other private company. I think CEOs keep their personnel who do good for the company. So government must do the same.
On Twitter, Tim asks, why does he seem to reward ministers who seem to have failed in their past roles? That's Tim there.
I don't know who has failed in the past role, who has been rewarded for failure. What happens in some instances is when a particular minister has particular attributes which are necessary for advancing a particular direction, you can always appoint that minister because you know attributes in that minister or that person to continue doing certain work which you think that person has capacity or is endowed with the experience or institutional memory to do certain things. That will happen. It's not unlawful, it's lawful, it's provided for. But as long as they are, if you are president, you always want to make sure that as you go along, you also infuse new blood into the system, so that as we retire, we leave also experienced young people. Like in my cabinet, I have young people in my cabinet, young chaps who are members of the youth league. They are in my cabinet, right? They've never been in any office of authority before. Just from school or from where you dump them in the cabinet, and for the first time they will find out the out of place. But I am happy that they are catching very, very fast, and I'm pleased that you see. Next time, if I win elections again in future, I will put more, because I can see that it is just like us when we came from the bush. None of us had run a government before. We just ushered in like that, and we knew about using guns. We didn't know about running a ministry. But when we put there, within 6 months, we were able to understand and be able to be administrators. So the same for the youth. I am very satisfied now that I think it is good to bring the younger generations into office, so that when we leave, we are satisfied that we leave behind us young people who have institutional memory and who have capacity to deliver.
Right, Munyarazi Magomeza per Twitter anoti, how will the newly appointed Air Zimbabwe board chairman and his board work with the administrator? He says, according to the Reconstruction of State Indebted Insolvent Companies Act, the boards of the companies under reconstruction shall be divested of the control and management of the company's affairs.
That's not a problem. The board is a board of Air Zimbabwe. The administrator who is doing the reconstruction has a period which has been given. I'm not ignorant of that. So I know where we are going. The board must be there. Those who get frightened because we have put people who are going to drive things, it's their own fault. So there's no conflict at all. The board has its duties spelled out. The administrator has his duties or her duties spelled out. Let the administrator do his duty and let the board do their duty.
So I think it is a good opportunity for us to remind our listeners that you can send your messages through on 0717 777. I'll remind you of that number, 0717 777. Keep your contributions coming through on that platform there, as well as on all of our social media platforms. That's at CapiTalk FM. As a reminder to our listeners, this discussion is live on CapiTalk 100.4 FM here in Harare, but it is also live on Star FM Nyami Nyami FM and Diamond FM. It is also being streamed live on Facebook, that's on Zimpaper's TV network, as well as at our Facebook page, which is at CapiTalk FM. So keep those contributions coming through. I know there may be a little bit of concern around the fact that we are fast running out of time. I'm reliably informed that we will have a few more minutes to continue with the questioning, so you can do send those through on those platforms, as I have said. You're listening to Catching Up with ED here on CapiTalk 100.4 FM, leading the conversation.
T-I-M-B, excellence in marketing. We value our clients, stakeholders. We value teamwork. Shandira Kamwe. We work with integrity. We are committed to accountability. Excellence in marketing.
Tobacco Industry Marketing Board, icon of excellence in the marketing and production of Zimbabwe flavor tobacco.
Beware of criminals in unmarked vehicles who are reportedly targeting electronic gadgets such as cell phones, laptops, and other valuables. Moving around with or allowing people to notice that you possess large sums of money is strongly discouraged. A number of people have fallen victim to these ruthless criminals. Protect yourself and loved ones by being extra careful. If you suspect you are being followed, drive to your nearest police station. Trust your instincts and report or raise alarm should you feel uncomfortable with any person or vehicle you suspect may harm you. Any information leading to the arrest of these criminals will be greatly appreciated. Report at your local or any police station and stay safe. This message is brought to you by the CapiTalk 100.4 FM Current Affairs Department in the interest of public safety.
T-I-M-B, excellence in marketing. We value our clients, stakeholders. We value teamwork. Shandira Kamwe. We work with integrity. We are committed to accountability. Excellence in marketing.
Tobacco Industry Marketing Board, icon of excellence in the marketing and production of Zimbabwe flavor tobacco.
You're tuned in to Harare's Talk Companion, CapiTalk 100.4 FM.
Welcome back to Catching Up with ED. Thank you so much for sending in your contributions on 0717 777 777. So as you know, we've decided that we'll take a few more minutes in order to get as many of your contributions that you've been sending in on the different platforms. We'll kick off with some contributions, Nyari.
Yeah, we have a wide range of questions coming from our listeners here. On WhatsApp, a listener says, are there any mitigation procedures that have been laid out to assist the Registrar General's office to print passports?
Yes, we have a company which introduced new technology in the production of passports. However, I'm informed that this company has decided to take the department ransom by demanding certain payments which in the past they would allow and give time for the department to pay. As a result of that, some of the consumables got expired when they were dealing with the legacy date, some of that sort. And yet there was a payment plan which I think was agreed among the department and that particular company. So suddenly they said they would not print any more passports. Then I moved in and gave the money to the department so that they could print passports. When the department paid that money, it was then used to pay legacy dates, not consumables for present production of passports. That was not fair. However, we discovered that when this new department was created, in the past, the Fidelity printers were producing passports. And we've just discovered now that Fidelity printers has enough material which may last another 4 years in printing passports. All what is required is now to do certain, to procure certain consumables compatible with the material with Fidelity. And in that process, it was only yesterday when I was informed about that, and I gave authority that those consumables should be procured. So that it is unwise in future to depend on one single provider who then has the software alone, that person. You must procure machinery or technology which can be procured elsewhere other than from the same person, rather than you procure equipment whose software is only produced by that single person. Because when you quarrel or when you meet at some place, you quarrel with a girlfriend, then he stops supplying consumables.
Yeah,
that is not proper. So I have said to the departments, let us not put our eggs in one basket. Fortunately, we have these Fidelity printers, which has most of the materials which you want in terms of paper. But however, I have said I will make sure that I clear the legacy date. Then you can go to the table and discuss how to go forward.
Moving on, Tafadzwa Goriat is the Passenger Association of Zimbabwe president. He says he's the president of the Passenger Association of Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Anomirira vanofamba nemichovha. Hanzi migwagwa yashata kumaruzevha kuchasvikike nemichovha. Zvakare michovha yacho yakudhura, muri kuiteiko nazvo?
Hama yangu. Ndio wakatenga mchovha nditi. Ndiwe hama yangu. Ndio wakatenga mchovha. Ukatarira iko zvino ukatarira kuti makore maviri apfuuraya mugwagwa wanga wakamira sei, mugwagwa wanga yakamira sei. Iko zvino zvipataveri in 1.5 years chete. Hapachina district riri muno risina equipment inogadzira mugwagwa. Kwese kwese rugadzigwa. Nyaya iripo ndio kuti haikwanisi kugadzirwa zuva rimwe chete yose, inotendera chigadzirwa. Tinofarira kuti hama dzedu dzinogara kumaruwa dziwane migwagwa yakanaka. Chido chedu ichocho. Iwo mugwagwa wanotaura ndofunga ndimumwe kana miviri, asi uchaona kuti kuchasvika equipment yandikureva ichigadzira migwagwa. Taisa ndangariro dzedu kuti aiwa kumaruzevha kana kuti kumaruwa migwagwa ngainake. Chikuru chifanira chokuti councillor ari paward na DA murural district council ngavazive migwagwa inofana kutanga kugadzirwa yakanyanya kushata. Saka iwe mugwagwa wako wakanyanya kushata uyu, taura kurural district council yaikoko kuti aiwa mboregeraiwa muri kuita yako zvino we kuno uyu wakanyanya kushata, uchavona vachikubatsira. Nokuti ivo vanenge vakasawo mapriorities avo kuti chatangana uyu, asi mukaendavo sevanhu veward munokwanisa kunzwika neroad district council yenyu kuti mugadzire mugwagwa iwoyo. Pakuzotenga ya michovha, nokuti ino democracy ka unoita zvaunoda, ndiwo wananga wega kuda muchovha. Waregere kuona kuti kwa muchovha wakakuipira usati wana mari yakawanda kuti utenge mota iri nani. Unombofamba une dzakanana, kune anditi kuna mabhazi aliko ndiona mufamba nawoka. Kudzamara vane mari iri nani kuti utenge mota iri nani. Zvino wotenga muchovha unogwara, obva wachema kuti muchovha wangu unogwara.
Reketendere mberi vakuru. Hanzi mubvunzo wake wekupedzisira ndewekuti zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka muzvipatara, and vakawanda vane mari dzavo vari kurapwa kunze kwenyika. Hatizve matitidi.
Icho chokwadi. Zimbabwe yakambeiri pa mukana wokuti vanhu vaitobva kune dzimwe nyika vachiuya kuzorapiwa muno munyika medu nokuti zvipatara zvedu zvakanakisa zvikuru, asi nemutoro akazombotiwira nenjodzi yakatiwira makore apfuura aya, zvipatara zvedu zvakadzikira chaizvo kuenda pasi. Iko zvino tiri kuzama kugadzira. Ndingakunyaurira hama yangu kuti kuna madoctors akauya kuzondiona kuState House, vakati one day vakati zvatiri kuda ndezvizvi vakanyora I think 4 or 5 pages yeequipment ndokundipa kuti nditsvake zvinhu izvozvo. Ndapiwa zvinhu izvozvo izvo kwataisitenga takati tinoda zvinhu izvi, vakatipa ina amount, andiitauri vakatipa ina amount kuti munobhadha. For example, zvinhu zvamataura zvoda 20 million US dollars zvechipatara chimwe chete. Saka ini pandaka wana mukana wokutaura navice president wekuIndia paakambouya kuno, totaura chichitaura kati aiwa kama mtida michini yemuchipatara imbovuyai kuno. Saka rwendo runoru ndapiwa list yai nana chiremba ndokuinda kwavanositenga, ndokuwana kuti mari yacho toti kana 10 million inongotengera chipatara chimwe. So ndirapfuura iri Modi ondifonera prime minister wekuIndia, makani tiripo wakadi ndimukorokodedza kuwina kwakaita ndobva tamina munyaya, asi anodada zvikuru anozvida nokuti India aitaura nechirungu, iyo taura nechirudzi chokwake, po vanhu umwe anomuturikira kuisa kuchirungu, asi takupedza tapedza akabva ataura nechirungu kuna kuti muna zvida. Anyway, ndiganze kunyaya yako. Modi akati aiwa zvanotaura zvimuchira, tuma munhu wako kuno tivone. Ndakatuma munhu ikoko, mari yanga achitenga zvinhu zvechipatara chimwe chete yatenga zvinhu zvezvipatara 5. Saka ubone kudyiwa samatemba akasunura kwatanga tichita makore osaya tichitenga kuwestuku. Mari iyoyo yanga ichizinotenga zvinhu zvechipatara chimwe chete yatenga zvinhu zvezvipatara 5 kuzoti pa urongwa hwokuronga kuti tiwane cargo plane kunotakura zvinhu zviuye.
Saka tiri kutarisira kuti zvinhu zviri kunaka panguva mupfupi iri kutevera.
Tozoti zvenyaya yemishonga yataugwa ndinofunga icharamba ichidini ichitari nani nokuti pamwedzi nepamwedzi tiri kumeka sure kuti reserve bank yaisa mari.
Pena nomwe mvunzo.
We'll continue there. Each Kunguru says, does the government have any plans to assist people with disabilities in the areas of employment, jobs and loans as well as transport? Each Kunguru is suggesting kuti tadiwo tanzi tibadere tisabadara mumabazi emazupko. Panozoya Lawrence Moyo Nanyasha Utete. Iwe vanoti, what plans do you have to support the youths, especially around job creation?
Panyaye vamwe vedu ma-disabled vamwe vedu ndine ndakacreata office ya director for disability, iye president we Malinga, Dr. Malinga is in my office. Ndiye anondi-advisor my needs disabled community yedu. Zvimwe tiri kugona, zvimwe zvavanokumbira seta zvigona, zvimwe zvoda kuchinja mutemo sokuti vanokumbira kuti tinoda muparliament namba yakati. Saka zvotoda kuti tichinje constitution yedu kuti tise namba yedu tiwedzere vanhu muparliament, asi kozvino tinenge tikwanisa kuisa 1 or 2, asi vanhu vashomana vana kuti vatutsirwe. Votaura zvokuti mucabinet tinoda namba yakati yeva disabled. Zvose izvozvo vanosungirwa kuva vanga vamuparliament first kuti vagozopinda paye mucabinet. Vagoti zvakaisai mutemo yokuti kambani imwe neimwe inoemploya vanhu from 100 and above ngaive at least 2 disabled persons. Again, tinofana kuti tione kuti zvinokwanisika here, nokuti munhu afa makambani yake toza mutemo yokuti ita izvi. Ini ndinofunga kuti chinhu chofana kuwiriranwa muparliament kutota izvozvo, nokuti tikangoregera vakwanisi kubatsirika. Zoda kuti isu tive mutemo wokumanikidza makampani kana ma-institutions ehurumende kuti pana vanhu vakati ngapane disabled at least number yakati. Zvinhu zvatokwanisa kutiti. As I say, I'm a listening president and my administration should also be a listening administration. Macomplaints akadai anofana kuti tiwane nzira dzokuti tabatsira kana take on board ma-issues avo. But most importantly, ndina comrade Malinga ari muoffice mangu. Tinogara tichita misangano iyoyo achindipa ma-views anobva kuma-associations avo.
Pane nyaya yevechidiki vati vanoda kubatsirwa nenyaya yemabasa.
Vechidiki vane ma-ideas akawanda. One, vanoziva kuti mabasa mazhinji haangokwanisi kungowanika. Vanodisa mutemo muti kana kune kuchipiwa minda 10, 20% kana 10% ngaipiwe kumuyouth. Kana kune any training inenge ichiitika, such percentage ngaende kuyouth. Kana kuparliament percentage ngaende kuyouth. Ndozo vanenge vachiita. Asi chiripo ndechokuti economy yedu ngaimuke. Kana economy yamuka, jobs will come in. FDI, foreign direct investment, yatiri kuita through engagement re-engagement ngaiuye inocreate ma-jobs. Also, vechidiki vedu tinoda kuti vave nema-skills. Usangotoapedza form 4 yako kana form 6 oti ndakuda basa hauna skill yaunayo. Techishuvira kuti ngavaende kuma-tertiary institutions edu vaite gain ma-skills. Kana kuti isu sehurumende titaure nema-higher institutions of learning kuti ma-products ema-institutions edu, ma-universities and colleges should produce ma-products who relate to our industry, to the level of development of our industry and our commerce. So uchibuda institute of higher learning unokwanisa kunopinda basa zvakakwana nokuti uri trained. Either you are a mechanic, you are a doctor, you are what, but you are fully trained to fit in the current environment of our economy. That is necessary. Not in the past where the teaching at university has no relationship with the level of development in the country. These must come together. We must, fortunately, when I had the discussion, my principals, my vice chancellors, try to agree. My captains of industry, try to agree. My captains of industry, each big company, have a program of training. Attachment. Attachment, so that you have also the practical side of your training.
On that note, we'll take a quick break. Remember to keep sending your contributions on 0717 777 777 as well as on our social media platforms. Keep them coming. This is Catching Up with ED here on CapiTalk 100.4 FM, leading the conversation.
Excellence in marketing. We value our clients, stakeholders. We value teamwork. Shangira Kamwe. We work with integrity. We are committed to accountability. Excellence in marketing.
Tobacco Industry Marketing Board, icon of excellence in the marketing and production of Zimbabwe flavor tobacco.
You're tuned in to Harare's Talk Companion, CapiTalk 100.4 FM.
Welcome back. This is the final segment of Catching Up with ED, the inaugural conversation with the president here on CapiTalk 100.4 FM. So in this last segment, Mr. President, would like to give you an opportunity to give us your closing remarks.
Thank you very much. My remarks in concluding this discussion to the nation. For too long, our country has been held back by the old way of doing things. In our society, our politics, our economy and our culture, everything was old. New ideas have been resisted, new developments rejected. The results of this are the economic challenges we see and experience today. Recently, I was asked what I see as my main mission as your president. What I want my legacy to be, my answer was simple: reform the economy, reform the way we do things, reform our institutions, reform our legislation, reform our mindset as a people. We must turn our back on the old way of doing things. We must embrace new methods of doing things. The new Zimbabwe we succeed. For new Zimbabwe to succeed, we must embrace reform in everything that we do. And that is exactly what we are attempting to do. My Minister of Finance has gone about reforming the very basis of our economy, returning us to a budget surplus and laying the foundations for long-term growth and prosperity. Yes, today is tough, but tomorrow is looking bright and brighter. We are opening Zimbabwe up to investment, building a new and a mutually beneficial relationship with the nations and the businesses of the world. We cannot be left behind. And we are repealing POSA and HYPA, two pieces of legislation that have been heavily criticized, symbols of the old Zimbabwe. The process of reform is not an easy one. It involves sacrifices from all of us, brings about short-term upheaval that causes pain and suffering. Government must create safety nets to deal with that situation. There will also always be those who are wedded to the old ways and who don't want to see change, those who are threatened by new ideas. Open Zimbabwe, we are building. There are people among us who bury their heads in sand and they cannot move with others. There is only one path: reform and reform. This is the way to go. In my youth as a soldier, I had a clear mission to establish an independent Zimbabwe. I fought for this mission with all my heart, whatever the consequences were. Now, as your president, I have a new mission, no less important: to reform Zimbabwe so that we build a country in which all have the opportunity to prosper on basis of talent, not corruption. I will fight for the goal with all my heart and all my soul, whatever it takes. The process is tough, but I promise you it is worth it. We will reform Zimbabwe together. We will leave nobody behind. We will fulfill our potential. We will build our new Zimbabwe for all. Good night, Zimbabwe.
And on that note, we end the first in a series of Catching Up with ED here at CapiTalk 100.4 FM. Join us again, same time next Friday, the 21st of June 2019. So keep your contributions and your questions coming on our platforms. Thank you, Mr. President, for taking time to join us this evening. And thank you to our audiences and contributors on different platforms here in Zimbabwe and all over the world.